Yeah, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be making a shirt dress with collar and coat sleeve. So to know the amount of fabric to put on fold for the half length, make use of the biggest circumference with your bust measurement, and then you add at least 3 inches to that for the back pattern. This is the back pattern, and then for the front pattern we'll add extra 2.5 inches for the bottom placket. So this is the front pattern and this is the back. So for the back I have a total of 12 inches, while for the front I have 14.5. So this is my starting line. Mark ½ inch at the top. So this is the shoulder line. So on the shoulder line, I mark half of the shoulder measurement plus half inch seam allowance. And then a shoulder slant of 0.75. This is actually for an 11 years old, so you can use 0.75 or ½ inch. And then for the neckline, I'm using a neck width of 3 inches. So I'll connect the shoulder slope. I'm using 0.75 at the shoulder slope. And then I'll add ½ inch seam allowance to the shoulder. So for the neck depth, we'll use 1 inch for the back pattern. And then 3 inches for the front pattern. So don't forget the front pattern is beneath, and then this is the back pattern. Now you can see the chalk mark. So I'm going to mark the armhole depth. I'm using 7.5 on the armhole depth. So this is a chest line. This is the bust line. And then we have the waistline. We're also going to have a band. So I've subtracted 1.5 inch from the half length. We'll be having a 1.5 inch band. So this The half length is 16. We subtract 1.5 for the band, and then I have 14.5. And to 14.5, I've added 1 inch seam allowance. So here I have 15.5. So this is the chest line, this is the bust line, and then this will be the waistline. So on the chest line, I'll impute the bust circumference divided by 4. And because it's a shirt dress, I'll add ½ inch for ease. So I'll use 1.5 for my seam allowance. And then I'm going to mark the armhole depth. So this is the armhole length. So the measurement I have on the chest line, I'll repeat it for the bust line. So I have 10 inches and then 1.5 inch seam allowance. And then for the waistline, before I put the waist measurement, I'm going to put in the bust span measurement so I can have our dart. The bust span measurement is 7.5. So half of that will give us 3.75. So we are not going to be cutting it out, we'll just fold it and sew. So the front dart will stop ½ inch before the bust line, while the back dart will stop 1 inch above the chest line. So this is for the back dart. This is our back pattern, and then this is our front pattern. So I'll mark ½ inch on both sides. And I'll connect upwards in the form of a triangle, like this. So I'll go ahead and notch the dart point so I can reflect on all the patterns. So I can now impute the waist measurement, quarter of the waist measurement, plus the dart allowance, and then the seam allowance. So I'll connect that. I'm not going to be adding lining to this, so if you like, you can add lining to use. So we're going to cut out our pattern. I'll be cutting with the back first. So the back piece is 1 piece, while the front is going to be 2 pieces. So this is the center front, and cut it open. This is for the button placket. So you can add fabric to this for the pockets. So this is the back piece. So continue with the front. armhole, I'll just go in by 1/4 of an inch. So this is for the button placket. Just fold it in. I'm going to cut out the neckline. Don't forget the front neck depth is 3 inches. And then this was our dart. So the length of that, I said I will stop 1/2 inch before the bust line. So I'll be marking 4.75. So this here the dart will stop. So we're going to mark the cut out the collar after joining the shoulder. So to sew, just go ahead and sew the dart. Just pick the dart like this. Before then, on this waistline, we're going to mark 1 inch for the slant so that the band and everything can relax well. Just mark it 1 inch. I'll slant it to the side. So I'm going to cut that out. Then re-notch the darts. So go ahead and sew the darts. Just stitch it in like this and you stitch. Repeat same for the other side. So we are going to do same for the front pattern. Just pick the dart and sew. So don't forget that the back dart is going to stop 1 inch above the chest line. So stopping here. That is 7 inches. So I know where it's going to stop. So sew the darts here and also sew the dart on the front pattern. So I'm going to notch where the button placket will be. then we will iron gum stay here, and also iron gum stay here. I'll come back to show you what it looks like. For the down part of the dress, we're going to have it like a gathers. So you can use gathers or anyone that any pleat type of choice. Now the length of the dress is going to be 38. We'll be adding 2 inches to that, making 40. So we'll subtract the half length from the total dress length. So we're going to have 22 as our skirt length, then plus 2 inches seam allowance, which is 24. So just go ahead and cut it out. So I have this cut out. I'm working with 2 yards of fabric. So this is 24 inches. We are also going to create the bottom plackets on the skirt part. So this will be the center front. Just mark 2.5 inches. We also iron gum stay on this part to make it firm. You can go ahead and also notch to know the point. So this dress is going to have a pocket, so you are going to be cutting the side. So to do that, I'm going to fold this into 2 so that we can have the front and the back. So I'll fold like this. Okay, so this is the back pattern, and then this is the front pattern. So the back is going to be 1 piece, while the front will be 2 pieces because of the bottom plackets. This is for the front, and then this is for the back. So we'll be cutting the rest part of the rest part as we sew. So the skirt part is ready. So let's now sew the dart and come back to see what it looks like. So this is what we have after sewing the dart. This is the back pattern. I've sewn the dart, and then this is the front pattern. I ironed gum stay on it on the bottom placket. I fold it 1/2 inch. I gum stay on it, then fold it 1/2 inch first, and then 1 inch. So that was why we measured 2.5 at the beginning. Then we are going to stitch along this line to pin it down so that it will be like this. So if you like, you can also top stitch on the other side. So we'll repeat same for the skirt part. We'll also iron gum stay on it, and then we fold ½ inch first and then 1 inch, and then we'll sew it. It will not be like this. So for the front pattern, we'll take the bottom placket, fold half and then 1 inch, and then we stitch it down. Then you take the other side. After sewing it, you place them on top of each other, making sure that it overlap on the bottom placket. Then you use your pin to secure it down. So secure it down with a pin, and then you're going to take the back pattern and place it over it. You take the back pattern, place it over it, making sure that the right side are facing each other, and then we join it at the shoulder with ½ inch seam allowance, and then we'll also join the side with 1 inch. So the next is to cut the sleeve. We are going to be cutting it like a full circle. Get our fabric, fold it into 2, and then fold it into 2 again. So we have it folded into 4. And then for the radius, to determine the radius, we are going to use the sleeve. This part is supposed to be 4 inches. Remember, on fold, that will be 8. That will be 8. And then we need it for the same for the other side as well. So that means 4 in 2 parts, 4 in 2 parts, which we make 4 in 4 places. So by the time we have cut the full circle, we will now share the sleeve. We will now share it into 2. So that means we'll now use ½ circle for one sleeve, ½ circle for the other sleeve. So after determining the radius, the next thing is to determine the length of flare. The length of the flare of the sleeve, or the sleeve length, which is about 3 inches. And then I mark it. So we are going to be cutting out the radius and then the length of flare. So we have the full circle. So we'll just share it into 2. We'll share it into 2, and then we'll use half for each side. So that means we use ½ circle for each sleeve. So we can also split it if it's more than. So this will be for one side, and then this is for the other side. So that is our sleeve. So this is what we have after joining the shoulders and the side. Now I'm going to close up the top of the bottom placket. The collar will not get there. The collar will stop just by the bottom placket. So to close it, lose your stitch and then fold it like this and sew with 1/4 of an inch. After that, you flip it inside, and then you have something like this. And then you can now go ahead and stitch back the stitch. And then if you like, you can top stitch at the edge of the bottom placket. So the next thing is to attach the waistband. Measure what you have, including the bottom placket, from one end to the other. From here, measure round to the other end. I have 38.5. So you get your fabric, you cut it out with the length, you add same allowance to close up the side. depending on the amount of fabric you have, you can have a band of 1.5 inch or depending on your preference. So I have 2 inches wide, so I use quarter to join the upper, to join here to the half length, and then half inch, and then sorry, quarter inch to join to the down part of the dress, and then we'll be left with a band of 1.5 or thereabouts. So after cutting out the band like this, you iron gum stay on it like this to make it firm. Okay, and then you can go ahead and cut it into 2. So when attaching the band, we are going to pin both bands together. So I've cut it into 2. Right side against left side like this, and then from the other side you also pin like this. So the dress will be in between, to be in between like this. So you can do it like this and just sew the band once instead of doing the single one, and then when you are through you don't have to add the second one again. So you can do it like this. So just take your time, pin it so you get to the other end and stitch. This is it after sewing the band. See, I sew both of them together. So it's going to be like this. So this corner, notch it. So we are going to be attaching the down part before we close up the space. The center front, I've already pinned the bottom placket. So I'll be top stitching on this bottom placket on this side to correspond with the upper part. I'll top stitch on this part. So I'm going to join the side now. This is the back piece. I'll put it together like this, right side facing each other. Then we join this side with 1 inch seam allowance. Join here like this. Join this side like this. After that, a round gather stitch round, and then pull it to this waistline, this waist measurement. I have 38.5, so I'll pull it until I have 38.5. After joining the side, join it with 1 inch. We are going to be fixing our pocket later, so that was why I had to make it 1 inch, so that by the time we put in the pocket can go in a bit. So if not, you can also sew with half inch, and that was why we had to cut the fabric. If not, to have made it one hole. So I've joined the side, and then I've run gather stitch. So I've pulled it. So when you are pulling, make sure that it is central. So before you start pulling, you fold the fabric into 2 like this, and you take note of the midpoint so that your gathers can be even. So once you're through like that, you're going to attach it to this upper part. Okay, and it's going to be right side facing each other. So you are going to be sewing on the band. So remember, we are sewing with half inch. So we pick this front part of the band. So I'll match this edge with this edge. So you need your pins at this point. So just take your time and pin it all around. So there's need for you to adjust. You are going to adjust this the gathers as you sew. So one more thing, to make it central as well, just fold this into two and notch the midpoint so I can correspond with this midpoint. And notch it. So before you start, first of all, you match this corner with this edge with this, like this. Then you match the middle. And then you also match the other end. So after you have done that, you can now go ahead and, so you see, to be easy to now match the others. You see, you can be pinning from both sides. Just spread the gathers as you pin to make sure it is even. You see, so repeat same for the other. This is it after pinning. So when you want to stitch, you turn it over and stitch from the gather side, so that as you are stitching, you just use your hand to spread the gathers to make sure that it is even. And then I'm going to stitch. So you stitch with the same allowance that you have left. I'm going to be using 0.25 seam allowance, that is quarter. So I'll stitch to the other end. Then that will be for one part of the band. Remember, there's a waistband. So when I'm through with that, I'm going to take this other part of the band. Since there is no lining, assuming there was lining, then you sew this part of the band to the lining. Okay, but I'm not using lining for this dress. So what I'm going to do is that I will just fold this side also with the same allowance, and then stitch it from one end to the other. The same line will show in front. Okay, so that's what I'll do from one end to the other. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll go to the next stage of the dress. At this point, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Please support my channel. Okay, help my channel grow. Like my videos, share my videos. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. So the down part. So we're going to attach the sleeve now. Remember, we cut this out earlier. The midpoint like this. So for here, I'll leave half of the armhole depth. The armhole depth was 7.5. So I'll mark half of that. 7.5, but because it is sleeveless, we'll reduce it to 7. Okay. So that will be 3.5. So our sleeve is going to be from here to here. Okay, so first of all, we'll reshape this armhole. To reshape the armhole, just put both of them together like this, and then we check if the armhole is correct. So like I said, the initial armhole depth was 7.5, but because it's the kind of sleeveless offshoot, we now made it 7. Let's see, 7. So to have. So from here like this, we'll mark it on the sleeve. Measure 4 inches here. And then seam allowance of 4.5. Then from here we get the curve. I'm just trying to manage the fabric that we have. So you place it such that you have seam allowance to join here. So you are joining here with 1/2 inch. And then we cut it out. So I'll use this to cut this. You want to sew. We join here. So we match here to here. We match it together like this. So you can notch where you are going to stop. You can notch it. So you sew this. Take it to this side like this. And then you also take this side. You also take this side to this other side, folding this upper part. Just fold it in twice, or use cutting bias to turn it. You can use cutting bias to turn it. We also use cutting bias to turn the down part. It goes through the sleeve. You use cutting bias to turn the edge for the down and the top. And then I measure 4 inches here before attaching it to the body of the dress. 4 inches. So we are through with the sleeve. These remaining parts, of the armhole, we are going to use cutting bias to tie it. notch close to it so that you'll be able to flip there. Place the cutting bias like this, then you stitch on the right side to this point, then you cut it. Then when you are done, you flip it inside and then sew the down part. So for the collar, measure the neckline. We will not add the bottom plackets. I don't want to add the bottom plackets, so measure what is left from here. I have 17.5. This is a collar stay, so 17.5. So I'll be drafting with 9 inches. So this is where I have my 9 inches. Then I'll roll the starting line, marker to highlight it. So here is the center, and then this is going to be the side. So here I'll mark 4 inches. I'll get the midpoint of 9, which is 4.5. At this point I'll mark 1/2 inch, and here I'm going to mark 1.5, and then I mark the remaining to complete the 4, which is 2.5. So I'll connect this to this to this. You can use your free hand to do that. So connect here upward. So I'll come out a little, let's say 1/2 inch. Okay, connect to this way. So depending on the shape you want. So from this middle, I'll measure what I have if it's correct. 1/2 of 17.5. I'm going to be cutting the exact. It's 0.75 something on the house. So I'll just measure like this. So that is going to sit on the neck, this curved part. So I reconnect this point. So ignore this. So this is the one we're working with here and then here. And then here. So I'll cut it out. So this is what we have. So I'll cut this on the fabric. Cut 2 of this, place it on it like this. We'll leave same allowance around it. So you can place the fabric together and cut both at once. So I'm going to iron the gummy side against the fabric like this on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to be stitching with about 0.25. So place it right side against each other like this. And then we'll iron it on it. After that, we stitch the side, the top side here. Okay, notch this corner and come and show you what it looks like. So this is what we have after stitching. I marked 2.5 here, then stitching started from here. I also mark the 2.5, and then so from here we have our length. And also notch here the corners. To enable us turn it perfect. Then you can trim here a little so that it will not be bulky. Turn it inside part like this. So go and iron it so that it can relax. And then this part that is going to rest on the neck, I'll give it a notch here, give it a notch here, and then fold it down like this and iron. Okay. After that, we'll get to the midpoint. Mark the middle. Get the middle of the collar as well. So the part that has the collar will be the part that will be this way. This part. So you can start your stitching at any point, either the outside or the inside, depending on your preference. You are starting on the inside, that's with this. Place it like this, right side against the wrong side. Here against the wrong side like this. And just stitch here up to this point. Stitch here to this point. Then after that, you now turn this like this and ends like this. Now here will be curved in. So push it up, and then here will now rest on it like this. So that's how we're going to stitch to this side and also stitch to this side. So here is the final look of the collar, and then top stitch on it. So it's going to be like this. So we are going to attach the pocket. Let's bring it inside out. Attach the pocket here. Mark from the waistband, mark 1 inch before we start. We're going to be using this for the pocket. So this is going to be here, and then on the other side we'll also place this. And then we're going to mark the buttonholes. The buttons are going to be here. We are going to be attaching this black buttons. There will be one button here on the band. So from here I'm going to mark the intervals. I'm going to be using 3 inches. Next one will be here. So since we have lines on the dress, I'll be using 2 inches as the next one will be here. The final one will be here. Since we already have lines to guide us, so place the first one here, leave 2, place 2, place. Then the same thing with the down part. This is the next one here. Leave two. And we stop 8 inches before the down parts. So the final one will be here. So adjust this again and place here. Ignore this. Place the next one here. Ignore this. Place the next one here. Ignore this. And then the final one here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after creating the buttonholes, you cut through them and then you pin this on this. You pin it on it like this, and then use your chalk to mark inside the buttonhole so that where you are going to place the button will show here, so that the buttons can align. Just after cutting, mark it at the buttons, and then that the dots that you are going to have is where you are going to sew the buttons. So you are going to be having buttons like this. 3 on the upper part, on the band, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for the down part. So I've come to the end of the video. I'll show you the final look on the mannequin. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share my videos. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. So here is the final look of our dress. Shirt dress, circle shirt dress with coats, shoulder sleeve, and also has a pocket. This is Joydala Fashion Guide.